I'm here representing the Campaign for a Fair Economy. We're a broad coalition of community organizations, grassroots groups, and labor unions who've been working together and collectively represent over 100,000 workers in San Francisco. Our coalition is made up of the organizations that fought for the original 2003 minimum wage increase, which set the bar across the country and which has been modeled by cities and states across the United States for both minimum wage, paid sick leave, as well as health care laws. And we're very proud of that work, but as has been mentioned by both Mayor Lee and Supervisor Jane Kim, the minimum wage as it stands now is far too low to help workers meet the rising cost of living in San Francisco. And 10 years later, the same struggles that compelled us to raise the minimum wage in 2003 are at work again today in San Francisco. We see that workers are falling behind when it comes to paying the rent, paying basic living expenses. When the average one-bedroom apartment rents for $2,775 in the city of San Francisco, working families cannot afford to survive here, let alone thrive, raise families, and have long-term futures in the city. So many in our communities are homeless, are working 2 to 3 jobs to make ends meet, are doubling up, living in SRO cramped rooms with shared bathrooms and kitchens, or living, 4, 5, 6 people in one-bedroom apartments to be able to pay those rents. And that's just not right. San Francisco can do better. San Francisco should not be leading the country as the #1 fastest growing wealth divide in the nation. That's not the legacy we want to leave. And that's why we are so pleased today to be standing with this broad coalition, including working with the mayor's office, the board of supervisors, and other groups to reach a consensus measure. Our consensus measure will raise the bar by getting all workers to $15 in 2018 and ensure that no minimum wage worker in San Francisco goes without an increase. Over 100,000 of our lowest paid workers in San Francisco will benefit from this increase. It puts hundreds of millions of dollars into workers' wages, which means money going directly to local businesses to fuel our economy, drive consumer spending, which is 70% of our local economy. And I want to put in perspective what this means for an actual worker. The Campaign for a Fair Economy is made up of organizations that fight every day to ensure that the lowest wage workers in San Francisco get a decent chance at surviving and thriving in San Francisco in many ways and around many different policies, including housing and healthcare and education. And for the people that we represent, in May Day of 2015, they're going to see a pay increase that equals about $240 a month for a full-time worker. That's $200. That means the difference between making rent or not making rent, buying groceries, paying for healthcare expenditures. It is very real money to these to the folks in our community. And within 4 years' time, as we get to $15 an hour, that is putting nearly $9,000 a year into the pockets of the lowest paid workers in San Francisco. And that is a significant boost. It's not everything, but it's a significant step towards reducing that income gap and helping workers have a chance to survive in San Francisco. So the Campaign for a Fair Economy really just wants to recognize and thank Supervisor Jane Kim, Mayor Ed Lee, for your leadership starting from last year in really raising this issue and bringing the city together to fight for a unified measure on minimum wage. And we really want to thank the low-wage workers, the fast food workers, who were the very first ones to raise the banner for $15 an hour, the fast food workers across the country and other low-wage workers who have decided to put their livelihoods on the line and risk their jobs to demand decent wages and a dignified life. And those are the people that we think are driving the movement across the country to raise labor standards for workers. And we're very proud that San Francisco can join that fight and continue to help lead that fight. I also just want to, say that we know for our workers, sometimes $20 makes a difference, between being able to stay out of the shelter or be able to pay the bus fare to get to their job or to be able to make the rent. So this is just very significant. And we're confident that the voters will support this measure. Finally, I just want to say that we're also very pleased that the mayor's office and Supervisor Kim have made a commitment that in increasing the minimum wage, we're going to continue to make sure it's enforced and that this new law has meaning for workers on the ground. And that we have the resources and the tools needed to make sure that employers, that minority of employers that often may try to cheat workers, are going to be held accountable to this new law. and that we'll have a level playing field for all businesses. Thank you very much.